It's August the 30th, 2016. My goodness, where did the decades go? Once again, we're talking about Japan's melter reactors because they're completely out of control. We got a new mic up set up today in my face, and we're hoping that will get rid of the background hisses and the terrible experiences we've had with the audio. And I'm praying and hoping that works out today. I'll have to watch the video after to find out for sure. I done sample tests, yes, and they sounded good. But I've been fiddling with buttons, and who knows how much trouble I got myself into this time. Hi, Pam. I'm Thirsty Lane, Biddy Tube, Ninth Wave. Hello, everybody. How are you today? Alex and Jace. I know I'm trying to do a stream every day, but I'm trying to sort out this issue with equipment, and my headphones are shot. It's time to get a new set of headphones. These are the $10 ones, and they're no good. My good ones destroyed themselves over a couple of years, so just reluctant to get them at this stage of the game. That's okay, though. So, Japan, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. My goodness. Meltdowns. Melt-throughs. This is Unit 1. That's the roof of it. And it's supposed to look like that. This is Unit 2. Looks pretty good, yeah? Well, they admit it's all gone. Just 6 reactors in the building. This is Unit 2 again from another angle. This is what it's supposed to look like on the inside. Now, this is Unit 3. This is 4,500 times worse than all the reactors on the planet combined if they all went off at the same time. This one was still 4,500 times worse than all them melting down put together. Because of the mixed oxide, fuel, reclaimed uranium, reclaimed plutonium. And this is another shot of it. Once again, think about what this building is supposed to look like. As you can see, it's leveled. This is Unit 4. They leveled it. And once again, as you can see, I'm officially in the picture with you at this stage because I forgot about that part, but that's because I wanted to be able to do that. Yeah, that's right. Dana wanted to do that. Now, inside of that, you die right away. No second chances, no way to escape it. That's Unit 4. These are the official pictures again of Unit 4. Hard to wrap your mind around it, isn't it? It went from there to here. These are the official pictures of the same building. Officially looked like that. Then they stripped it. Then they cleaned up around it with all the remote control equipment, the homeless, the destitute, the victims of society, the immigrants who don't speak the language. And then they rolled out the PR firms and showed you that. But remember, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, some days are like this for me. That was Bamfield 2 weeks ago. I blew out both of my legs. And that's coming around really good. I'm just trying to find the documentation I had for everybody today. I'll find it at some stage. Ooh. This guy, he's wanted for homicide of one of our donors. That shouldn't discourage you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, though. Health effects plutonium. That's where those studies were from. Just looking for... I created all these. There we go. Let's do a little comparison. These are 10-second clips of 3 reactors. I'm not going to come over. This is reactor 1. We just walked you through the reactor. But now we're going to just give you that comparison of how much damage is actually going on in these buildings. This is Unit 2 coming up. Unit 3. Completely flattened. You can see the reactor core alongside of me, and then the fuel pools are at the top of the building. Obviously, the 5 reactor cores stored at the top of each of these buildings has, we found a reactor core for that building. Here's a picture of it. It's up there around 3,000 feet or something when it detonated, yeah? Well, you can't deny what it looks like. You can't deny the detonation. We know that happened. We know that's official pictures, see? This is Unit 4. Watch the comparison. Think about, I was doing this on my own to try to get a real accurate depiction for myself so I can visually, I was just playing around. I decided to record it and posted it on my website, Beautiful Girl by Dina, on YouTube. And hi everybody in the comment sections, and watching the video and watching this later at home. And Ninth Wave was out there, and Shanikin 775, and Pam, and Amthurst, and everybody. I just wanted to make sure now my speakers will not get blown out from all the bad connection. Yeah, bad is not the word, was it? I mean, we tried everything to solve and resolve and sort out all this equipment, let alone the audio, and it's too much for somebody who's not technically like myself, even though I have to be. And just catching up the comment section for a few seconds. Is the audio good? I missed it. Hugs, Pam. Fukushima exposed. Truth. And everybody else. Let's hang on 1 second and let's see how the audio is working out for everybody. We got new audio. We're early into the game. We're about to switch gears and get in the headlines. I'm just waiting. Great sound. Thank you, Boydie. It's okay, eh? Am I too close, too far away? You need to do bullet points. Well, you need to do bullet points. I can't do everything, see? I hear you, but I mean, it's just me, right? I'm overwhelmed with so much news coming at me constantly. I'm barely functional trying to put this equipment and this type of operation together. And 260 days on the ocean, 15,000 miles under my belt. I'm burnt out. But I hear you. To stop eating seaweed, yeah, night. Yeah, that was a good idea. Thanks, Pam. Audio is good. Hello, Mindy, Pam. And I'm just waiting. Morning, Fukushima exposed. And thanks, Elaine. And Amthurst and Liz. Drinking apple cider and vinegar every day. That's good stuff. Always has been. It's a traditional recipe. I know truth. I'm like, articulate what you're talking about for me. Maybe I'm not clear on my head on what you're saying. Maybe it's something that I can do and I should have had done and I didn't know it existed. And if I make a mistake, everybody should tell me I made a mistake so we don't make that mistake again every day, and that we're able to teach people that that was a mistake. And there's these ambitions and everything else. So let's get in. We looked at the pictures of the comparison. We see the blatant fable as it deserves to be. I got to do everything double to make this work. Okay. So nuclear is a bloody package. That's what you should take away from that. Just a disgusting, bloody package. No matter how you package it, it's a bloody package. Audio's good, Fukushima. Thank you, Liz. Thumbs up for Dana. Yeah, please, folks, if you can. If not, like you say, these videos, these are not, I don't know what you call these things, because it's such a compilation of everything into one basket. And so that anybody on the planet ever watches one of my videos and trying to learn about it, they'll get incredible amounts of documentation. But if you're astute and aware of Fukushima, you'll get a whole lot more. Plutonium escaped Fukushima reactors as gas, and it was a colossal 9,000 degree Fahrenheit. And so if you drop rebar and steel and metal and all kinds of stuff down on top of 9,000 degree Fahrenheit, it's not going to hit it. It's going to atomize, turn into ionized fissionable products that will give you a cancer 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the road. And I can adjust my audio up, I can adjust my audio down, I can pull my face away, I can keep my face closer. Spent a long morning trying to sort this out. That's why I didn't show up earlier on the stream. I'm determined to stay in the game, to have that conversation. Hi, Color. And everybody that is out there, I don't know that is out there, and everybody shows up down the road, and a year down the road. Looks good. Typing is awful today, Liz says. So I'm just jumping back and forth. I'm just worried sick about this audio, like I've been for months trying to sort it all out. This was a desperate move that I just done money in order to try to resolve this, but I think there's no limit what I'll do to resolve it, trust me. These tanks, pregnant women are used for decontamination activity after Fukushima disaster. Think about that one, August 9, 2012. Because they love you, they love the world so much. That's not the only thing. Former special advisor says Japan too scared to tell people the truth about Fukushima's future. He's not. I can assure you. He's not too scared to lie, manipulate, and deceive, and seed studies and academics, institutions with people that will play his game. He's not honest. Right? Pregnant women get free new houses if they move back to Fukushima. Pregnant women get shiny new houses if they move back to Chernobyl. How about that one? Yeah? Would you get it then if you seen that headline? Because, I can stick it there for something to do. And I just want you to think about that headline. I got to check back on Boydie. Did he give me any pointers that time? Because I digressed. Let me scroll back. Get apple cider. Bragg's is best tasting. Navtel, hi everybody. Hyper. Okay, I'm just looking for Boydie's suggestions. He had, or she, or them had some suggestions, and I don't see them yet. No rush. There is, because I won't catch it. Now, I am interested. Sometimes I just say I'm overwhelmed because I'm overwhelmed, but give me a few seconds for my brain to stop crashing and burning and rebooting, then I'm usually okay. Children being severely harmed must be evacuated. The world has never come across a situation like this. The world has not come across a situation as bad as this. We're talking 3 melter reactors like we were shown earlier, the pictures of the actual reactors. And Chernobyl was 1/3 the size, a 30% meltdown, and Chernobyl stopped, allegedly, after 10 days. But some will argue chunks of it is gone down into the earth in a chain reaction. And it does that, jumped out of you at that time, because it was a colossal 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. And so think about a reactor. Let's do well on that for 1 second. A reactor has, say, 60,000 rods, and each rod is 18 feet and 12 pounds. Officially, that's what they claim anyway. Okay. So you would say, okay, well, here's the volume, here's the numbers, that's it, right? That's what we're talking about. That's the volume, Dana. No, not at all. Sadly, you might end up with that same lump 1,000 years from now, that same weight. It's consuming everything around it. It's atomizing and aerosoling that and releasing it into the environment at an enormous temperature. Like a forest fire will send it up into the stratosphere at 2,000, 3,000 degrees. The bigger the forest fire, the bigger the particles they can loft high into the environment, where the jet streams can carry it across in just a couple of days because they're so fast compared to the normal winds. Okay. Well, the melter reactor in a China syndrome at 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures will consume everything forever. And so it's a breeder reactor. Everything that comes in contact with it is atomized and aerosoled through so much heat is now fissionable product. It's contaminated the same way. It has the same effect up on fauna and flora and insects and larvae and small fries and the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom. fares fairly well for a little bit longer than the other species in that zone. So the plants are the last one to get, per se, to be noticeably degraded to something obvious. Now, with insects and larvae and stuff like that will disappear. Little tiny, the microscopic world, bacteria, the most important part of the environment, will disappear long before you see the effects upon the plants. The animals will disappear before you see the effects upon the plants. The plants will bioaccumulate it. The animals are eating that. And plants don't get cancer per se, right? But mussels do, in a study that came out a few weeks back. Mussels, you'll find I posted a video about it. But mussels now, throughout British Columbia, are considered to have leukemias that are transferable to other shellfish industries. So it's game over. That's game over. That's the end of it. Without nothing else, that is the end of it as we know it. Even if it was a healthy, normal, everyday ecosystem, the fact that everything has leukemia in the ocean, an official government study from British Columbia, Canada, in tandem with other institutions, showed that mussels in particular, and then they postulated upon the other species, and they did show documentation of it jumping to the other shellfish. This is like aliens coming to your planet. That's what that news really means. That's like aliens just came to your planet. But because Fukushima is in this equation and not in this equation, they make up stuff. No one wants to say, oh, nuclear done something. Because they love saying nuclear never harmed anything, never done anything, never killed anybody. And we've showed clip after clip of famous people saying those words. Oh, nuclear's never hurt anybody. Ever. Never. And then they'll go news, say Chernobyl, only 28 people died, but they won't tell you 600 helicopter pilots died at Chernobyl. They won't tell you Kofi Annan says proved at the UN podium had the documentation of 3 million children with permanent disabilities. Or was that Truth or Boydie was talking about it? Was it Truth? I can't remember. Let's go look at the comments one more time to see if I can pick up what somebody was trying to help me with, and then I went off into I'm just worn down and worn out routine until I got my act together and apologized and asked them to extrapolate from that comment. Unfortunately, yeah, well, he never counted on Fukushima. God created humans to live forever. They just didn't count on Fukushima. And no, we don't recommend sea kelp here, ever, under any circumstances. Kelp magnifies. I can show you the headlines of kelp at 40 million becquerels off California per kilogram. 40 million. 5 becquerels, you throw your food away in Germany, pre-Fukushima, and 17 becquerels, you throw your food away pre-Fukushima in France. And now they raised the limit in North America to 1,100 becquerels a kilogram. And that 50 becquerels a kilogram in your diet is permanent lesions to your organs right away for adults. And 11 becquerels a kilogram for children. But once you get the atom in your body attacks it relentlessly for decades with white blood cells. And they build a tumor around in increments over decades. And then you got diagnosed, you got cancer, whatever, tumor type of cancer. Now, leukemia is a lot quicker. Leukemia's, the beta has got like strontium and plutonium and americium. Neptunium will go into your bones. It's a bone sinker. And it mutates your stem cells in your bones. So that's why you get these vicious killer leukemias. And the solution to live longer for this is to unplate your blood. Cancer is basically your blood plating up, is how you should look at it. And unplating your blood is how you should try to fix it. That's what I'm seeing anyway. I'm not giving out medical advice. I'm talking about it. I know the industry is totally freaked that people will talk about it. because then people might not want their synthetic, idiotic, moronic, and disgusting, mass-murdering drugs. You should treat cancer with chemicals or nuclear. I mean, that is stupid. 97% of the people that do the chemo, they also have to do radiation. They died, every one of them. Before, they would have died without the chemo and the radiation treatment. 97%. So why are they still doing it in every hospital? Why do people still bring their loved ones there? Because it's not totally popular knowledge, but it's become now more common to see that documentation information. And we've covered it. We've covered the doctors. We played the clips of them saying those words. We showed the headlines. We showed major media carried it once and hid it away, never brought it up in context again. See, everything I'm showing you is the most important headline you can imagine. These are important. He's not, but what he's doing, what he done, the chain reaction from his policies are unbelievably, unimaginably, inconceivably brutalizing communities and the victims of society because of just one person. That's the stupid part of a democracy. Democracy is where 51% can take away the rights of 49%. Oh, they beat us fair and square. They voted us out. A little help from a computer chip. But how sick is this headline? Pregnant women get a new home. There's a good Halloween costume, right, TEPCO? Mommy, I don't want to scare everybody on the block. 70% of the children tested are contaminated with radioactive cesium. All of them from outside the Fukushima prefecture. What part about that is it people can't wrap their mind around? The worst ever polluting company. This is a company we're talking about. And TEPCO is by far now surpassed every pollution ever created on this planet. Every oil spill, every pharmaceutical dump, every waste site out there can't touch a chain reaction. That's why we got 30 million of those bags. Yeah, 30 million tons. These bags are 1 ton each. That's 5 rows of traffic, 1 ton trucks, bumper to bumper without a hair between them. They're 20 feet each, right? 1 ton trucks. Say they're around 20 feet long. If you're bumper to bumper, scratching each other's bumper, you have 5 lanes of traffic right around this planet. And if you drive like you normally do, you have like 7 or 8 lanes of traffic around this planet. And if it's a hot summer and you're looking at it, you got 10 to 12 lanes of traffic around this planet of these bags in normal driving conditions. And are you surprised? Are you amazed? Do you get what that actually means? That is just a tiny, 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 insignificant, but significant 30 million trucks with 1 bag each. These are 1 ton bags, 1 ton trucks. But there's no radioactive fallout. There's no contamination to worry about. Why have you got all these trucks? Why you got all these bags? 30 million, 1 ton bags. What's to be? How can you have that and not have the other equation too, right? 50 becquerels a kilogram in humans lead to irreversible lesions in your vital organs. And yeah, fungus is good for cancer too. Good point. In the comment section from Pam, there we go. I haven't got my glasses as usual, so. Is all fish polluted by now? Yeah. Like to me, that's a little worrying when I hear people. There's nothing personal to the person that says it. I'm not saying something like that. I'm just saying it's a little worrying whenever I hear someone ask me, because it happens to me where I'm too, right? I got a picture here, will help articulate it. Fish contaminated, do not eat. And I tell that to people all the time, and I tell them why. It's because whatever's left bioaccumulated at 10 to 15,000 times. Fish don't die of cancer, so you can't see the radiation hanging off them, usually. But we do have documentation of it. I know I hung out with the divers last year for a couple of months. The first thing they told me was they've been seeing a lot more tumors on fish. But fish generally don't live long enough to die of cancer. Cancer is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to manifest, diagnosed with small doses. But all the studies on the animals. So here's another way to look at the animal studies. Let me just explain. Because sometimes you got to do that, right? Sometimes you got to switch gears to explain it. So the animal studies, toxicity of inhaled plutonium dioxide. Now, dioxide also comes before it goes through a chain reaction. They call some of this stuff dioxide, right? But plutonium is made from the chain reaction, is 100% man-made. The chain reaction is 100% man-made. They extracted uranium-235, right, for that chain reaction, weaponized, in order to have that chain reaction. So almost everything in the chain reaction, it is man-made. And there's thousands, around 12,000 isotopes coming from a chain reaction. There's only 160 in nature. There's 5,500 elements, but only 160 of them are... Okay, but anyway. So think about it this way. 144 dogs got one inhaled of two sizes. Okay, think about that. And think about what happened to those 144 dogs. Death from radiation, pomotis, occurred from 1.5 to 5.4 years after exposure. Tumors of the lung, skeleton, and liver occurred beginning about 3 years after exposure. Bone tumors found in 93 dogs. Okay, now stop there. Let's pretend that there's something you eat, or if you're a meat eater that you eat regularly, like hamburgers or something like that. Pretend they were cows, not dogs, and they died. All of them died within 5 years for the last 7 years. But so the experiment works this way, really, that if this was a little deer, and everybody on the same day the dogs were inhaling, right? They brought them into the lab, they inhale it, and then a couple of days later, or a week later, or a month later, or 2 years later, whatever, they killed the animals, they chopped it up, and they sold it in your supermarket, and everybody filled up their fridge with that. Well, all the people, when they finally ate all of that from those lots, because they breathed it in, it was in their body. And, down the road 10, 20, 30 years, the people who ate it will die the same death as the dog would have died if if the deer. So if this experiment was on deer, I don't like dogs, talking about dogs this way because it freaks me out. Because they're incredibly intelligent animals. But anyway, the dogs inhaled one and two sizes. Then you ate it. Let's look at it that way. Not the dog, but the animal that inhaled. So instead of the animal eating grass or drinking water and getting it in their body that way, and you end up eating it, it was this way where the scientists gave them the dose, a much smaller dose than they would have got if they were eating it from the fields all day, every day, and drinking it from the water. What do you think is going to happen 10, 20, 30 years down the road? Do you think this only happens to dogs? You think this only happens to animals? You think the humans are somehow immune to this? Do you realize we have terrorist laws because we understand there's a million studies like this on animals and every animal died for 70 years? And that if you eat that, that is what happens to you, right? But before cancer shows up, there's 1,800 diseases, autoimmune deficiencies, autoimmune illnesses, okay, so you got heart and liver and lung, respiratory, pituitary, adrenaline glands, your pituitary, your thyroid glands. You got Alzheimer's will show up before cancer. All of that, you got 1,800 diabetes. So if you're going to do a study, you do a study on diabetes around a nuclear power plant, not cancer, because cancer is the last one to show up. See? Okay, so don't. And so that's Dr. Raymond Gilman. You can look up. He has 94 studies. Every animal died, and that will help you find all kinds of other studies. By the way, the biggest producer of the radiative fuel rods is curium isotope. The curium isotope are the major byproduct in the radiative fuel rods. And I know now, here we are, I'm in front of this big black thingy and blah, 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 blah. It's hanging in front of the screen all the time. And over the next number of streams, I'll learn to sit back and I'll analyze what's going on. But I'm looking for depth. I'm looking for clarity. I'm looking to get rid of the background hissing. And I'm trying to stop all the pop, 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 popping that happens at random. It's got everybody, I'm sure, at wit's end. Not as bad as me, though. Not as hardcore as me. So the fish are the worst thing you can put in your body. Fish are the worst thing you can give to your friends or your families or your loved ones. Fish are, try eating out of the Pacific, Atlantic or the Southern Hemisphere, but you can't find it on a Geiger counter. The Geiger counter up in the corner is in real time. So if I got fish here right now, I got 123 becquerels on my fish. So if there was no radiation in the ocean, per se, you're catching fish, you bring it home, you cook it, right? This is floating around all the time here now because we had endless releases. The buildings were destroyed. There's constant releases. It doesn't matter how much was there for the inventory originally because now it's a breeder reactor. It can breed 1 million times more radiation than what it had in it, its entire inventory. Each building had 6 reactor cores in it. So this was a story, July 19, 2016. They lit 700 candles because of a community that was in the direct path of the radioactive fallout from the first bomb test. And everybody in people's families dying of cancer, everybody. All the neighbors, everybody on the street lost multiple people to cancer. But no, it wasn't nuclear. No, Dana, never. Never, Dana. So why would they distribute potassium iodine? It's because they were boxed in. But if they come out and said, well, we don't want to do it because it's useless, it's irrelevant, because the isotope, anything like it, right, like a gamma emitter, will go into your thyroid, not just iodine. So the iodine that's coming from a chain reaction is completely different than the iodine that's normally in your body or your food. It's completely different. They got nothing to do with each other. One goes to a supermarket shelf, the other one goes to a nuclear waste site and has terrorist laws attached to it. So passing out the potassium was supposed to displace or fill up your thyroid, which is a gland. You can't transplant them, that I know about, and you can't fix them. It's a gland. And so iodine does attack your gland, but so does cesium, right? Any emitter like that will attack your gland. Now, these plants are bombing it out all the time. There's incredible amount of radioactive isotope you're seeing coming out of there. This is to boil off also 1 million gallons a minute that the reactors need to boil to create the steam. And at the same time, the fuel pool is vented up with the same steam. They call it diluting it. But if you capture the isotope, suck it in your body, 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, there's the cancer. But there's 1,800 diseases will show up before the cancer. See, what you're looking at is why there's 6 times. 6 times. 6. He hides my thumb and goes 6 times more breast cancer around a nuclear power plant within 15 miles of it. Many times more leukemias for children, killer leukemias. Many times killer cancers. But see, they don't study Alzheimer's or dementia or autism or diabetes or heart or liver or lung or respiratory because that's going to show up first. And that's going to be more predominant because a lot of people will die of that before the cancer is manifesting or diagnosed. Yeah? So to keep you, we don't see an increase of cancer. Japan had an extra 862,000 cancers in 2012 that they didn't explain away. They just spent $800 billion in the last 5 years trying to fix it, what they've done down there. So any economical benefit or gain from nuclear was destroyed when those reactors melted down. The 40 years of running fine before it, they had lots of accidents. They hid away and covered it up and concealed and were fined for it and everything else. But the chain 3 melter reactors, this is unprecedented on our planet. These are out of control. You won't see Harvard or Yale or Berkeley or Stanford or Oxford or MIT or any of the major shakers and movers on the planet go there because of the X-rays and neutrons, the gamma showing. The suits you got on don't protect you. They protect you from that getting on your clothing. But if you're close to it, it irradiates your clothing anyway. It doesn't have to get inside to radiate you. You just had, like, because the gamma shine, the neutron burst, the X-rays, these different hardcore kill you. Like if you go up close to a pound of the fuel rod after the chain reaction, you're dead. If you just walked past it, you ran past it, you're dead in about 2 or 3 weeks. They'll keep them working until they start bleeding in different places. They'll kick them loose and say, "What do you want you check?" These people are homeless and immigrants. And they say, "Well, come back in a couple of weeks." That couple of weeks doesn't come because they die. Their organs are melting in their body. They become debilitated. Official says potassium iodine can help. No. See, this is officials. They don't even bother fact-checking it. You want to help avoid thyroid gland issues around a nuclear power plant, you don't give them potassium. You move them away. You move them at least 50 miles, preferably 200 miles away. A nuclear plant should never be in a community. It's releasing isotopes in your community all the time. That's why there's 6 times more breast cancer, but cancer is the last one to show up. Look at Alzheimer's and dementia. Look at diabetes. They show up pretty quick. Here's what this absolute fabrication that these places are carbon-free. Do you got any idea how idiotic and moronic that statement, how easy it is for the media to say that was a lie? They didn't bother fact-checking it. They just pump it out over and 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 over until you're too sick. And it's hard to work your way through it. It's hard to understand what they're talking about. It's hard to dissect it. It's hard to get anybody to listen to you. That's why you have journalists. They're supposed to do all of that. They're not supposed to just allow people to come out unchallenged with the same narrative, the nonsense, the manipulation, the deception, endlessly, perpetually. How is that beneficial? How does that help anybody? Bear with me. Let's have a couple of little boos, short little clips, ranging from 8 seconds to 20 seconds to 30 seconds. We'll look at a few of them now so you can understand why it's not carbon-free, why it can never be carbon-free. Besides the fact that Fukushima has now, any carbon credits Japan could have had will take them 1 million years to regain it because of what they got done. Not to mention what's happening, the death of the Pacific Ocean, the mass die-offs, the starvation, every time for the last 3 years in particular. Everything starves to death. All the 500,000 birds up the coastline here in British Columbia starved to death. I went out there to Banfield where there's supposed to be 7,200 species a week and a half ago, and there's 14. And I've seen 2 species or 3 species of birds, which we already identified in the previous 15,000 miles of the Fukushima Expeditions for Life along the coastline of British Columbia, Canada. And you can find that up at the nuclearproctologist.org. Let me set that back up, because we had buffers set up. It's just so hard. I like it though, if I can get it to work. It's just so hard to do everything I'm doing, but ultimately you become really good at telling that story. You become really professional at doing these presentations. And someday you might even get your audio to work normal. I got to hold my breath on that one today, but we're getting there. Okay, I'm going to switch down, drop my audio. We're going to play the next 2 or 3 minutes of these little clips of me. And some of them are dorky, some of them are really good. And I don't know what's what anymore because I got like 30 of them right there and I don't even remember making it. So, yeah, here we go. July the 20th, 2016. Apparently nuclear generating stations now are the top carbon-free energy source on the planet. Yeah. Or is it? Let's have a look. They say nuclear is carbon-free because they dump the stuff in the ocean and they don't have to pay for it that way. So when they tell you that nuclear is carbon-free, they're not talking about the 2 trees that are left here. They're not talking about this empty site that's abandoned. They're not talking about the thousands of people and equipment and the time and energy and water used and the chemical used in this mine to get uranium. No. They say you can put all the nuclear waste in the world in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. This is much bigger than an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and this is just a very, very tip. There's your carbon-free nuclear fuel rod storage throughout your entire country. Think about this. This is in metric tons. This is only up to 2011. Did the nuclear power plant stop producing it? No. Do they got anywhere to put it? Sure, all over your country, in your backyards, in your communities. Why are they storing it in these places? It's because they got nowhere to put it, because nuclear is carbon-free. Hell, forget the nuclear rods. Worry about the nuclear waste throughout your country. It's everywhere. Carbon-free, the words carbon-free and nuclear are the stupidest thing imaginable. But they keep saying it all day, everywhere you go, in every textbook, in every school and institution, and every TV and radio, and every international story about this. They say stuff like it's carbon-free, it's carbon-free. How? You got waste everywhere. You can't deal with it. You don't know what to do with it. You can't afford to hold on to it. You can't come up with the money to keep it safe so the terrorists don't get it. Issue. And somebody will have to dig this carbon-free nuclear waste up in the future and package it and store it, and that'll take thousands of people and hundreds of trucks, and it'll take enormous amounts of resources and times and energy. Gee, I wonder how many miles this thing gets to the 45-gallon drum. So like every aspect of nuclear is not carbon-free or anything close to it. So nuclear, they claim, is carbon-free, but instead of storing it like they're supposed to for thousands of years and paying for that, they release it into the ocean. It's like you just can't trust these people no matter what they tell you. The words carbon-free don't include Fukushima Daiichi, I can assure you. It's not going to include the 3,000 years and the thousands and thousands and thousands of people and their automobiles and equipment and everything else. No, because nuclear won't be carbon-free anymore if you do that. So how the hell is this carbon-free? How do you go and say that this doesn't exist, that this is not part of the operating cost, that this is not part of the nuclear industry? How? Why do you ignore this when you're talking about how much money it costs us for a nuclear power plant, and how the hell is this not included in the carbon scheme? You would bankrupt America to clean up Hanford. It has billions and billions and billions of gallons of highly radioactive materials dumped directly into the soil, 41 miles of unlined trenches where they dump the most dangerous radioactive materials imaginable. You can't clean up Hanford anyway. You don't have the technology. But it's nuclear is carbon-free, Dana. You would bankrupt America to clean up Hanford, but you would bankrupt the entire planet to clean up America. You have over 15,000 abandoned uranium mines just in the Navajo Nations. Do you got any idea what all this is leaching into the water is doing to those communities? Yet somehow or another, nuclear is carbon-free. No digging, no gathering, no playing, no collecting, no growing, no corralling. This is an ex-uranium mine now. Okay, I kind of think everybody got the message that time. A little bit longer than I was planning on streaming a bunch of clips I still got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is probably the best clip. Let me play that one though.
It's a risk that they never really want to talk about. One of the ones that really jumps out at me, they closed down 2 nuclear power plants in California, and almost immediately there was a precipitous drop in the infant mortality rate in a 50-mile radius, because no one likes to talk about it, but nuclear power plants put out radioactive gases that can be real harmful to babies and people.
So when they closed down 2 nuclear power plants, there was a decrease in infant mortality. Yeah, because it's belching out all the time, yeah? That's what it does, it belches out that nonsense all the time. Let's keep going. And so it's not carbon-free, never was, never will be, and they don't include the actual documentation Build more tanks, yeah? There's a solution. And when you're not looking, dump them in the ocean, yeah? At least they're doing that, I suppose. To just, because the fishermen are worried about it, not the planet, not the ocean. They're worried about their local fishery. So these guys will burn them out of there if you piss them off. So they got to play that game with them, see? But the local fishermen are not looking at that big, huge picture that we look at. Chernobyl, that's the so-called elephant foot. It stopped after 10 days, allegedly. We don't even know if that's real. We take their word for it. Why should we? They've lied to us now for 70 years, telling us like a banana. We know it's not like a banana. Right? They fill the world up with this nonsense. And that nonsense, nuclear engineering by day, zombie slayer, is more like internet troll by night, right? This is what they do on the job. Our new nukes don't exist and they won't save the climate. No. Shh, we know that, but that climate stories are one chance to resuscitate the nuclear industry. That's all it is. It's just a great big fable. And there's no way forward with the nuclear industry. There's nothing good about it. Everything they've told you has been based upon manipulating you and deceiving you and tricking you. And then if you call them out on it, but you have to be articulating to understand it. And so they understand that. And that is a small role that we hope that we play here. It's a very tiny role. Think about 30 million one-ton bags. And think about these reactors, completely gone. That's completely gone. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts about this, that's gone. And let me bring up that comparison so anybody can see it. So you can see what's left is nothing, completely. That's number 3. It's 4,500 times worse than all the reactors on the planet melting down at the one time, allegedly, because it's mixed oxide fuel, where they reclaim uranium, plutonium. And kind of like hiding my face like that, yeah. I can make funny faces, nobody can see me anymore. And there's got to be something good about that. And let's keep rocking here. This is unit 4. Look at it. What it's supposed to look like. It's unit 4. And unit 3 is not a good one. It's unit 4. I mean, my goodness. Really, seriously. Your job is to go in and repair that, and that a pound of this stuff will kill everybody in the theater in 20 minutes. It'll kill the people in the front row allegedly in a minute or less. Melt your organs once it goes through chain reaction. Right? But they were going to get power. Yeah? They're going to get power into that. That's right. That's what they told everybody. Oh, we're going to get power. I got videos of them claiming that. And so I done a little skit. Let's play that for something to do. Boo. I'll duck it for 1 second.
Well, I got the extension cord, but I don't know where to plug it in. If we don't plug it in the next 18 hours, we're going to lose all those reactors. If they survive the tsunami. I don't know how they could have survived the tsunami, but they say get an extension cord and plug it in. I don't know where to plug it in. I can't find any receptacles. Can you help? Do you see one? I can't find it.
I smurfed that.
Well, I got the extension cord, but I don't know where to plug it in. If we don't plug it in the next 18 hours, we're going to lose all those reactors.
Yeah, my apologies. But that does, paint a picture, an accurate picture. You can see me sitting in the right-hand corner of that, in the building itself, in the right hand of that picture. And that's unit 3. I'm not going to play it, but I'm just going to zoom in for that second. And yet they tell us like bananas. Oh, no, it's like bananas. But this is why we have terrorist laws. Listen to what David Suzuki had to say. 21 seconds. Watch your audio as usual. You should be used to it at this stage of the video that I'm a little bit off, but I'm getting there.
I have seen a paper which says that if, in fact, the fourth plant goes under an earthquake and those rods are exposed, it's bye-bye Japan, and everybody on the west coast of North America should evacuate. Now, if that isn't terrifying, I don't know.
I don't know what is. Yeah, because it's not like a banana. See? He wasn't acting the fool in that one. But they come out and vilified him for doing that, but all he had to do was show the comparison like that. And say, look, they want you to think it's like the one on the left, not the one on the right. That's all he had to do. That's what he was talking about. See, he was worried about the one on the right, not the one on the left, yeah? Can everybody agree on that one? Can anybody agree on anything out there? Because the nuclear industry has tainted everything good on this planet permanently. And let me come back over to the headlines. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate your kindness. 1:50, we're 10 minutes away from the end of the show. And where am I to? I'm right there. These buildings detonated. Look at the detonation, number 3. And yet they claim number 2 is the worst one in the media. But you see what number 3 looked like. You can imagine what that, there's nothing there. These are great big buildings. You can see the one up in the top corner, kind of like it. You can see just the enormity of the damage, can you not? Even if number 3 never blew up, it's in the middle of both number 1 and number 3, and number 4 is just, a rock's throw away. It's unbelievable what we're looking at. We're looking at it from the ocean side. That's the pump houses right by my head here. They're stretching across. That's the pump houses. They were wiped out by the tsunami right away. They were destroyed. And there's no way to get power into these buildings. How are you going to get power in, right? Why? Why would you even bother? And so hot particles bombarded the west coast of USA and Canada and contaminated everything. And would you like to see some of these models? Oh, I can do that for you, because I'm in that kind of a mood today. I'm in one of those modeling moods today. And I got a tendency to... This is 1 minute long. 1 second, 0.18 of a second. And this is 40 days. You're at day 16, 17. Look, I hit North America. Day 18, 19, day 20 of that same month, 21, is right across, constant line, all the way across the Pacific Ocean, all the way across at the same time, non-stop. It never stopped coming out of there, see? You can see it there in all of these models. It just didn't stop coming out. But these models are only based upon alloy. They're not based upon the inventories. They're not based upon the waste. They got people into this world where they can't conceive anything unless it's got all the bling bling attached to it, right? And so the TV is not going to show you that. It's just not going to do it. It doesn't care about you. On purpose. That's why it wakes up every morning trying to figure out how to do better, how to trick you and deceive you, manipulate you, and how to make the faces, right, that will suck people in. This is Japanese university. This is the 16th day of 9th month, 2012, September 2012, when you put out that model of what they had modeled originally. They made it originally, but they never put it out there till then. 8% of the children now normally thyroid is about 3 in a million for Japanese, and now it's 13,600 out of 40,000 children, not quite 40,000, not 3 out of a million, not 4 out of a million, not 5 out of a million, which would be bad numbers, not 100 out of a million, that would be terrible numbers, terrifying numbers, not 1,000 out of a million, that would be frightening numbers. No, it's 13,600 out of 40,000. These are unbelievable. These are inconceivable. These are events numbers. There's got to be something wrong. My goodness, no. This is the most frightening thing imaginable. And we already have the pre-studies, which everybody likes to ignore and pretend don't exist. They do. They will and always have. Here's France's model. Oh, wait a second. Once again, they only got a couple of days of man-made releases from Unit 2 that's still intact looking. But it lost all of its inventory, but that's not in that model. The 6 reactor cores that were in each building is not in these models. Chernobyl was 1/3 of the size. It didn't have 6 reactor cores in the building. It only had 1. But look at France, right? A constant, continuous line from Japan, nonstop. The entire Pacific Ocean, the entire Pacific Ocean, the entire coastline, Pacific Rim nations, the entire Pacific, the entire North America, the entire friggin' thing. Every piece of it, the entire country. And then the Atlantic, the entire width, the entire distance, the entire latitude and longitude of it. And then European countries. No one was spared. Nobody. Nothing. Instead of doing their job and saying, okay, nuclear industry is dirt. We screwed up. We can't change it, but we're going to kill nuclear. We're going to get rid of GMO. We're going to plant organic seeds in every community and send it out in the mailboxes to everybody and encourage to plant that and eat it till we get rid of the GMO. Make it not worth their while to have GMO because you can grow it. Everybody got seeds. You're going to get rid of the pesticides, the formaldehydes, the toxins, the dioxins, the dioxins that are manifested after from the bioengineering. You got, my Geiger can over my head. Look, they get rid of the food in Germany at 5. That's why they got rid of nuclear when, they said they're getting rid of nuclear when Fukushima happened because you've seen these incredible numbers you couldn't get. Everything had 5 all of a sudden. Everything had 100 or 500 or 1,000. Rain in British Columbia, Canada, Vancouver, 220 million becquerels, radioactive particles, atoms, emitting radioactive, even if it only emits a little tiny bit, if it's from a chain reaction, it's brutal. It's destroying your chromosome, your DNA nonstop, your stem cells, your sperm and everything else. But if you got one, you got everything else. And if you got one in big numbers, you got everything else in big numbers. And the reactors don't run on iodines or anything like that. But they're the tracers. They're easy to find. They run on plutonium, uranium. So they know when they see cesium, that's to them, they're not going to say no, but to them, that's uranium, plutonium, americium, and neptunium, the byproducts of the uranium that don't exist in the solar system, that are unique to us, that are an abomination to this entire solar system. And until we can solve this riddle and fix this riddle and contain this riddle, we have no right to go to another planet. We have no right to get off this planet unless we can solve that equation. There's no need to do it. We provide every day 4,300 peer-reviewed academic studies. Yeah, all those children died because model after model after model after model after model after model after model, based upon just tiny releases compared to what actually was released. There were 6 reactor cores in each building, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, all 4 of these reactors. There's 24 reactor cores gone into these models. That's what these models are. That's what these numbers are. That's what this is all about. Okay. So let's come over and close her down. And to the world from Japan, sorry. No, we're sorry that we weren't there to help you. We're sorry that they done that to you. We're sorry that you're the victims. We're sorry. And we will fight for you because you can't. Or you're not able to. You don't understand it. That's why we exist. We are here to fight for everything on this planet with everything we got. We are here to fight for the right to survive, the right to have generations, the right to have a future, the right to have a planet, the right to have an ocean that is now destroyed, emaciated, permanently. There's no turning that clock back. You can't fix what they got done to the Pacific. It's just going to take another couple of years before you can stop ignoring it, because you can't ignore it, what's happening. There's no way to escape what's happening. It affects everybody. It's the lifeblood of the planet. It's 50% of oxygen on the planet, too. And you got rid of that. You're down to nothing. It's shocking what we got done. 8% before now, which is like 3 out of a million. Now it's 13,600 out of 40,000. Not out of a million, but 40,000. Just keep, come on and say good day to everybody. Let me bring up a better picture. Something that's a little lighthearted, maybe. How about have I got anything that's lighthearted? No. But anything that epitomizes what I have on my mind right now. Let me see. Yeah, I wonder. Here we go. I'll come on and say hi to everybody at the same time. So I kind of get it right at some point. Eating a banana right now just to say that to Dana. Hi, everybody. Hugs, everybody. And Jan made an appearance. Thought she was on vacation. Hi, Jan. Miss Milky the Clown 1. You'll find links below after, if you're not here right now. And Pam. Shani Ken, thank you. Elaine. Nobleness, thank you. Fukushima Expos, thank you, everybody. And let me make sure I say hi to everybody. Truth. And we got anybody, Liz, Nathan, I'm sure there's people I'm missing. And Illusion, Jace is here. Amthurst is here. Candace will is here or be here. Ping is here. And just remember I haven't got my glasses, so I'm not ignoring you if I don't see you. And Boydie. And Biddy Tube says, I do not have a TV, and all you should put LED through yours. See, that is brilliant. That is reality. That is saying it like it is. You should get rid of it so it can never be used by somebody else too, see? Right, that's brilliant. No thanks, thank you, thank you. No thanks. I like saying that for some reason. Got a ring to it, man. It's ringing, man, it rings. No thanks, thank you, no thanks. Thanks. Martin, Amthurst, everybody, these comments will all be gone after. And so it's a billion times more important that I come in and say hi to everybody each time. Mindy, I know I missed the eye color. I missed a few people, I'm sure. There we go. That's a pretty good summing up of it. And we got enough comments there preserved, immortalized in the video. And I can read it after whatever showed up there. And we say the right thing to do is stop the reactors in Japan, or everything else doesn't really matter. But we have to pretend that we are going to stop, and we have to pretend that there is a future. We have to pretend that there is a way forward in order to create that atmosphere, define a way forward, and define a future, and define a solution. Because the technology is not even developable. We produce 4,300 peer-reviewed academic studies every day. And now that I got the microphone up so close, I got to learn. I'm doing pretty good this show so far, is not to raise my voice at all. Not to pan at all. And it'll work out fine. You get more nuances. You get the words a lot clearer. I slow down and start pronouncing words instead of slanging the daylights out of it. But it felt like a good stream. I'll listen to it after. Hugs for everybody. Much love to everybody. Thank you, Amthurst, Pam, Ping, Elaine, Candace, and everybody else, Liz, Miss Milky the Clown, 1, and anybody I missed. Hugs for you out there that don't bother commenting or sat back watching. Hugs for you in particularly today, because I usually don't mention you enough, I'm sure. Take care, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow sometime. Hopefully it'll be at a 10:30 a.m. schedule that I like, but until I can get it rocking properly, we'll show up every day at some point with a few hours warning. Take care, folks.